This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. How you doing, Ari? You hanging in there?
I am doing good, the Big O. Just getting going here. Forgot to turn on my TVs behind me, but otherwise, a Monday after a unique basketball brawl on Saturday night.
By the way, before I get to all of that, I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying the Lakers, demise. I got to say, I'm just enjoying the disaster that is the Los Angeles Lakers, the benching of Westbrook, which was, eventually coming. The fact that they can't shoot threes.
Yes.
I think it was like 18% last night.
Which comes as a surprise to no one. When you don't have 3-point shooters, you can't shoot threes. And when you're counting on Russell Westbrook, what do you expect in the first place? So, you know what? It's one of those so simple things, Big O. You are what you are. The Lakers are a team without shooting, with a horrible bench, who thought if they put out Anthony Davis and LeBron James, it would cure all ills. Right. And what has happened to Russell Westbrook? How many guys have we seen, Big O, over the years, even down here in Miami, except that they've gotten older? They're not the same player. A Dwayne Wade playing off the bench when he returned. That's the difference. When you insist that you are something you no longer are, that's where you get in trouble in any level of sports.
Oh, and that bench, dude. Oh, my God. Holy crap. That bench. I mean, it's just, I got to admit, ever since, listen, I'm a hometown guy, so I always root for the hometown teams. And ever since that guy screwed Riley during the moratorium, I will never forgive him for doing that. And so I root for his demise at every chance that it can possibly happen.
Big O, I want to throw you to one since you brought up the Lakers. I know we'll get into the Caleb Martin suspension, but
yeah.
He could make a trade sending Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson for Russell Westbrook. You can argue that you want to get Lakers picks or not, but let's just for a second, I'm going to tell you why. If the Heat trade Robinson and Lowry for Russell Westbrook, the Heat move off about $100 million in salary, about $60 million left for Duncan Robinson, about $30 million left for Kyle Lowry. Now they're going to be over the cap anyway because of the Tyler Hero deal, but it would make it easier to re-sign Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, maybe even Omer Yurtseven. So I know it sounds crazy, and I know they won't have a point guard other than Gabe Vincent, but I think it's something you have to think about. And folks, this is not to get Russell Westbrook. This is a pure salary cap move anyway.
Right. It's a salary cap move.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. It's something that I think you might want to think about because it gives you flexibility going forward, especially when you're going to have to give Max Strus, Duncan Robinson money. So it comes down to which would you rather have?
I got to thank you because I didn't like that deal when it was first mentioned to me because it's like you're giving away Duncan for nothing because you're trading the two bad salaries. And I get that. And then you're rewarding them by giving them Duncan, but they probably would give you back a first rounder in return, right?
No, that's where you negotiate. We know they don't want to give the 2 first-round picks up to Indiana for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Maybe you get 1 first-round pick. Maybe you get 1 protected pick. But Big O, what I'm telling you is it gives you the relief for next summer to take care of Max Strus, who's a better player than Duncan Robinson. Maybe to take care of Omer Yurtseven if he shows something, or to take care at a reasonable number for Gabe Vincent. And again, you could say, wait a minute, Ira, without Kyle Lowry, they're going nowhere. They played pretty damn well on Saturday with Gabe Vincent in there also. And then you could always pick up another player as well. Just a thought.
No, and eventually somebody will be and that you'll be able to make a move for.
Buyout deadline if not.
Right. I mean, in the end, this is what you have to think of. And you convinced me, and I appreciate that because I wasn't a big fan of that move, but then when you talk about the big picture of all the salary you're dumping, then it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, mathematically. And obviously, they love to be under the luxury tax here. So, yeah, that would also, kind of help out and give them a little bit more flexibility. And at the same time, not so much about Strus and Yurtseven, but if maybe a real star becomes available next year, you might be a player for that star.
Yeah, if you didn't do the Tyler Hero extension, you would. Matter of fact, in retrospect, if you didn't do the Tyler Hero extension, you might have a nice chunk of cap space, but you can't go back and be revisionist on everything. The downside for the Lakers would be this: even if you throw out the draft picks, if the Lakers do pick up a Lowry and a Robinson, then they can't chase a Kyrie Irving in free agency next summer. So it's just a matter. Is LeBron James willing to put another year of his career on hold to wait to what might happen next summer? Otherwise, if the Lakers can roll out a starting lineup of Thomas Bryant, Anthony Davis, Duncan Robinson, LeBron James, and Kyle Lowry, it'll at least maybe put them into the top 6 in the playoffs in the West. Just a thought, just to sort of intrigue things as you wrap up your 3-hour spectacle.
No, I like it. I think that makes it makes a hell of a lot of sense. All right, so Caleb and Jovic suspended for tonight. Caleb's got to keep his cool, man.
Yes,
He
knew it, and he admitted that, Big O. He knew. He got those angry eyes. We've all, even as parents, at times got those angry eyes.
Happens to all of us. Come on.
And he just took it a little too far. I thought at first he might escape just with a fine, but you know what? When stuff spills into the stands, that's when it's a different story, and they had to be more careful. The Jovic thing, I feel terrible for the kid. You should not get suspended before you play your first NBA game. That just seems a little bit odd. And again, it happened in front of the Heat bench. So really, it's not a matter that he moved toward the incident. He just didn't backtrack from where the Heat bench was anyway. So really unfortunate for the kid. But look at tonight against the Raptors. No Caleb Martin, no Omar Yurtseven, no Nikola Jovic. I'm figuring they're going to start Haywood Highsmith at the 4, which means if Adebayo or Dedmon get in any foul trouble, you may want to bring the kids tonight. It could be a Udonis Haslem night. They could go smaller with Jamal Cain, but the Heat are going to be limited in the power rotation, and Chris Boucher is back today for the Toronto Raptors, so they will get a little bigger also.
Wow. All right. So is that Bobby Boucher's brother?
I'll leave it at that and let the other people figure out their movie background there.
Your thoughts. I know that they asked you in the Ask Ira, and you were talking about playing the back-to-back nights, and that might be something attractive when it's a sexy team. When it's not so sexy team, that's not, I don't know if that's a good thing for the fans.
I think it's a bad thing for the fans, or good things for the players and their rest and their recuperation. This is not necessarily a bad case because Toronto didn't come in with any star missing. But if you get a team that comes in and one of the leading players isn't available on the Saturday, he's probably not going to play the Monday either. And that's it for the season. You don't get to see him at all. At least if you play a team in October and February, there's a chance if he misses the first game, he's back for the second game. I mean, look at the Heat. It's just the way the schedule sets up. You're going to play a couple of teams by happenstance early. The Heat this week are going to Golden State. Next week, they're hosting Golden State. This week, they're going to Sacramento on Saturday. The week after, on Wednesday, they're playing Sacramento. That can happen organically, but it's not your home fans who are missing, a chance to see a player otherwise. Not a big fan, but you know what, Big O? We can't complain about tired players and then complain about doing something to rest them more. But with all of this, the reduced back-to-backs, the same teams in baseball-like series, we've got to stop this whole rest thing. We've got to stop this whole load management thing. That's where you screw fans from seeing a quality player.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And I get why they're doing it. It's just I found it really, really odd. Your assessment of Kyle Lowry's play in the first 3 games, because obviously you were talking about the trade possibilities. You tell me, what do you think about his play so far through the first 3 games?
He was horrible in game 1. He was better in game 2, but still doesn't have a shot. And obviously the motivation of playing his former team in the Raptors, he stepped up in game 3. Big O, to me, this is more of a lineup thing. If you're going to put Tyler Hero on the starting lineup, it gives Kyle Lowry the opportunity to defer to Jimmy Butler, defer to Tyler Hero, defer to Bam Adebayo, and you're not getting that sort of 1-2 punch of Kyle also being able to score. I just think there's a total imbalance in this team's rotation that you have all these scorers in the starting unit, and unless Max Strus is scoring for the second unit, you have very little shot creation there in the second unit. You move Tyler Hero back to that bench, you have much better balance. You could really see these starters deferring to Tyler Hero. This is not Michael Jordan. This is not someone you defer to all the time. I think that he'd have to learn to play through it. I think this is not best utilization of the roster, but Big O, as you know, ego has a lot to do with today's modern player, and players want to start.
Can he be that guy still? Because I don't know if he can be a scorer. So isn't he better
be a scorer and get in the paint with his big butt and create space and hit threes? He could be, I'll put it this way, he could be more aggressive than he is now. But let's be honest, Big O, if you and I were to list the point guards in the NBA, Right now, Kyle Lowry's a middle-of-the-pack point guard. He just is. This league has some great point guards, and Kyle's play has dropped off a little bit. So the question is he motivated to push himself through these final 2 years on his contract as he turns 37 and 38 years old? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the fiery MFer Kyle Lowry that we have seen at other times, especially when he was with the Raptors going against the Heat. So I don't know if it's a personal situation with the family, but I hope he finds his motivation to become a little bit more of an SOB as the season goes on.
By the way, what is ankle impingement?
You know, they told us before it's just an ankle soreness. Omer spoke over the weekend and said it happened in the Heat's exhibition opener against the Timberwolves. So I don't think they're creating any drama there. I know he wants to be out there. But you know what?
So it's a twisted ankle? That's all it is? A twisted ankle?
It's an ankle sprain. Ankle soreness is what we were told. But here's the tell. Tomorrow, the Heat are going to fly early to Portland and practice there. Will Victor Oladipo be on the plane? Will Omar Yurtseven be on the plane? That's what we'll know this downplaying minor is not so minor if you're basically saying they're going to miss another week and not practice. There's almost no practice for the Heat on the road. They go to Portland. They have a shoot-around. They play. Back-to-back Golden State, schedule loss on Thursday. They get Friday off. Sacramento is a 3 p.m. start there, no shoot-around. So they won't be practicing on the road. So if you feel those guys need rehab and therapy time, they'll probably be left behind. I am curious to see who's in the traveling party when they hit the air tomorrow on the way to Portland.
By the way, so all they're doing is screwing with us with all this lingo stuff, ankle impingement, and Oladipo has left knee, not tendonitis, tendinosis.
Tendinosis is more of a chronic injury, and that's more of a problem than just a little bit of soreness. And I really think the Heat almost made an error there in overstating it a little. Remember, this is not his surgical knee. This is the other knee. So there's two things. We always hear about compensation injuries when something is wrong on one side or the other. You know what also happens, Big O, and I wrote this in my Sunday column at the Sunset, when you turn 30, in basketball years, you get old. Like, it's almost like they should almost put the injury next to his name, Victor Oladipo, parenthesis, getting old, in parenthesis. And that's what I wrote about Sunday. You take a major risk with Jimmy Butler at 33, with Kyle Lowry at 36, with Dwayne Dedmon at 33. God, he looks old. With Victor Oladipo at 30. I know Riley loves his seasoned, grizzled veterans. But you know what? Little injuries become bigger injuries when you hit that 3-0 mark.
Do they make it 2 in a row tonight against the Raptors?
Must win. You're going out west. You got Portland's playing well, just beat the Lakers. Sacramento is better than they were before, which doesn't say much, but still. And man, the Golden State Warriors, they'll be rested. They are not playing on Wednesday. The Heat on the second night of a back-to-back with travel. If I'm circling my schedule, I'm saying that's a schedule loss. I think if the Heat can get 2 out of 3, it'll be a great road trip, which means the only way they come home with a winning record is to win tonight against the Toronto Raptors.
You better win. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heapy. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Make sure you subscribe. And by the way, Wednesday, the Inside the Paint Show, the redrecover.com Inside the Paint Show will be in the afternoon from 5 to 6 p.m. Ira will be in Portland. Kurt will be in L.A., and we will be at Hialeah Park on Wednesday instead of Thursday from 3 to 6, because Thursday we need to do an early show because we need to go see Iron Maiden in Tampa Bay. So we have priorities in life, okay? And Iron Maiden is a priority. It's just the way it goes. Tomorrow night, Greta Van Fleet. Thursday, it's Iron Maiden. Next month, it's Metallica at the Hard Rock. Priorities in life. We got to rock on, Ira. That's what it's all about.
Rock on, Garth. I will talk to you guys at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Portland time at redrecover.com Inside the Paint. And I will text you, Big O, about going a little later after my back-to-back on Friday. We'll negotiate again as we did today. So I will talk to you on Wednesday, talk to you on Friday.
Thank you for taking care of the voice. Appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Right,
thanks,
Ira.
Big O.
Thank you. There you go. Ira Winderman.